You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All these dots here. I'm going to guess this is a high ankle sprain of some sort. Nothing is broken. We know that. X-rays were negative. I'm going to guess this is a high ankle sprain. That's going to be some time. The good news is it's not the whole time. So if you could operate on, I think the best way to look at this is like, can we get you ready for Kansas State? Can we get you ready for that trip? Don't think we may need you for Oklahoma State. The Arizona State games, it's just too soon. This is me talking. This is my opinion. That's what I think you're looking at here. But that Kansas State BYU game would like to have you, Mr. Howard. If you can, but I just think that, I think you'll be without him. So that's where it turns to Braylon Rigsby. It turns to I say that Jaden Cofield, Duda Banks. Rigsby's more of kind of like an end that sometimes plays inside. So AJ Holmes starts. I think this is Duda Banks and this is Jaden Cofield is next man up. So that's what I'm surmising. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I have a feeling I'm probably right. So unfortunately, but the good news is, Cowan, though, is you will see him again.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to make sure we weren't really hearing was pulling back on some of the optimism we heard about him from the weekend. In that it wasn't going to hopefully be a really long-term thing.
Unless they go to Dallas and they say, ooh, we didn't see this before, or hey man, did you know? I mean, now that's the one caveat, but based on what you know right now, no, this is short-term because the meaning of sending him to Dallas, the specialist, is, hey, we're do you have a way that we can get this fixed or get him feeling better quicker? So time is of the essence. That's why I say Kansas State, BYU games, things like that. So, there you go.
I thought I felt like some of the optimism for Baron Morton as far as the immediate game upcoming, that was a little more muted. And this was just based on some national reports, not Coach Maguire's own words necessarily, leaving Saturday. But from Saturday to Monday, I felt like, I don't want to say that headed in the wrong direction, but maybe I was just a little too optimistic about the very next game. Whereas Gil Howard, I definitely was kind of thinking, all right, what are we talking here as far as a view or whatever? Did you pick up on that? Am I reading too much into it? I thought there was a little more, I don't know, some suggestion or feeling that we can expect Morton to still be there. And maybe there is. He did just say day to day. It's not like a ruled out thing. But
I think Barron has a really good chance to play this weekend. I think he'll be there no matter what. To your point, I don't know if that's exactly what you were asking, but right, wrong, or indifferent, he will be in Tempe, Arizona, and I think again he will put himself through whatever he needs to do at all hours to heal it up, to feel better, to study, to all the things. You just, at some point, though, you ask yourself, can you do everything that we need done? Can you protect yourself if it's just too painful or you're not mobile enough or whatever? You're going to have to trust Will here. You're going to have to trust me and all that. They will go through the week and they will try to squeeze in a few reps here and there, and whatever reps that Barron doesn't get, Hammond gets, and Mitch Griffiths will everybody will just kind of have to turn the volume up a little bit on the practice and the preparation aspect in that QB room, just because there's a bit of an unknown there. And I think everybody's looking at it, depending on who you are, going, I'm one snap away. And it really applies to everybody there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Before we leave this group, Chris, a feel for Chapman Lewis this week. Coach Maguire went out of his way to sort of include that we get him back. So I'm thinking that means technically available. What's the reacclimation process actually like, though?
I think that, Sheila Wood actually said, I haven't seen him since I've gotten here. I've just watched tape. So whatever he's been doing has been off to the side because he hasn't been cleared yet. So I think that's a lot to ask. Now, defensively, maybe this is a special team. This comes down to like, okay, what four games do we want to use you here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure that this isn't one of them. If he can do anything to help you, whether it's just special teams or whatever, he's one of your best or better football players, I think. I mean, surely he's one of your top 75 football players, but they would have a better feel for that. How healthy is he? How caught up is he? How in shape is he? Because I think, remember back in, this was in August, and there was it was an open portion of practice, and people were like, Chapman Lewis is practicing. And he was in uniform, but he was kind of doing more strength conditioning work. So I just think he's been doing this kind of stuff all along. And if he can do anything to help you, and he's an upgrade in any way, I think that he could do it. I just don't know if that is on defense just yet, or is it Morgan and Escara and Hampton and Miles and that whole group that the DBs that have gotten all the reps and all the practices and all that stuff up to this point. I don't know. But I think you look at your schedule and it's Arizona State, Kansas State, and BYU. They're just a bit different than the other three games that you have. Is that fair? Because the other trio hasn't won a Big 12 game yet. They're combined 0 for 9. I'm not trying to overlook anybody. I'm not trying to assume anything, but the Arizona State, the BYU, and the Kansas State games are just different than the other three. And so if you are going to use him in some capacity, maybe this is one of the four that you utilize him in, because he can give you 4 of the remaining 6, and then after that he would be clear to do whatever you need in any sort of postseason.
This is an all due respect podcast. We overlook no one. And so we are, as you'll hear Coach Maguire talk about this week, we are mission focused as it relates to the task upcoming. First, though, Chris, I wanted to take a listen to Coach Maguire talking about getting back to what is before them this week and talking about what's continued to give him confidence when they set out on the road, or they set out with pressure building around them, when they set out into difficult circumstances, which is exactly what you find whenever you got a single digit beside your name and you continue to stack wins. And you're also facing a team that you actually beat last year. We'll get to more on the motivation when it comes down to this particular matchup, but take a listen to Coach Maguire talking about what is giving him confidence. First, today's episode brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. We all make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. And with football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. You're going to love how easy and simple it is to use. And of course, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Download the Prize Picks app today and use our code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. With Prize Picks, run your game as they navigate this season.
I wished I could tell you it's something I said, but I think we got an older team. I feel really good that number 9 and 31 and 2 and 33 are going to be on the plane to Phoenix, and give us a great opportunity. Whenever you have guys like that, I feel great that I'm going to walk by and, our big boys and, our top dogs sit in first class. Our donors and our coaches don't sit in first class. Our players do. And I'm going to walk by Jacob Rodriguez, and he's going to have that cowboy hat, and he's going to put it up in the plane. When I see guys like that on the plane with me, I feel really good that we have an opportunity to go win a game. I think that's it. I think the guys, we've talked a lot about, I want to say business trip, but, we've used some different things. Special forces have never won a game that we know of at home. They have to go on the road and win games for the United States. And so we talk about a lot about that, of being focused, mission focused. And biggest thing though is the players, man. They've really bought into what we're doing, and they're going out and playing at a high level.
Did you hear the numbers he mentioned? And did you notice that one he did not mention? This is why I'm mentioning to you, I don't think Skylar Gill-Howard is playing. I mean, he rattled off the starting defensive line, and A.J. Holmes was part of that. I think that's just a coach being very transparent there. So just wanted to throw that out there. I feel good about life when I see 9 and 31 around me too. Yes. For whatever reason, I feel like, it's like it does give you a lot of confidence. Number 10 gives you confidence. Number 6 gives me confidence. There's a variety of guys that on that team that have been through it. The whole road thing is just not really a thing anymore. You've I think crushed that. But here's the thing. Right now, I want to make sure, like BYU, Houston, and Utah, they're at or near the top of these standings. Okay. They are all 3-0 on the road this year. You're 2-0. You need to continue to win on the road. Like, it's about holding serve and about maintaining your spot. And this is what really good teams do. It's never easy at times. I think the first 2 road games, you kind of muddled through a little bit of it, or you play a really good game and you kind of pulled away at the end. But I wouldn't say that either was necessarily easy. And it's going to be the same this weekend. But you figure out a way to get a result and you get the heck out. But when you've got an older team that's more mature, that doesn't get rattled and doesn't freak out and all these things. I also think it's interesting to note too. I'd forgotten this until he brought it up. Mac Leftwich went against these guys last year. This is an Arizona State team that played in San Marcos last year as part of the home and home matchup. So he's actually seen their defense and all that. So there's plenty of knowledge here that I think certainly helps you. And it's the second year in a row that you're going to play Arizona State with a former Sun Devil on their team, on your team, and he was a Sun Devil from the year before. Last year it was Jalen Conyers. This year it's Ian Hershey. So just kind of a weird dynamic there. But yeah, I mean, I just think you've got to go figure out a way to get another result on the road. And it's and your guys up front on defense and on the offensive line too. I think that should give a coach a lot of confidence when you've got really good big people, and you do.
Yes, indeed. And I want to return actually to an accommodations conversation in just a moment before we wrap it up, Chris. But I also think not just the road thing, but if you want to have the season you're trying to have and you're sort of on the way to having, the pressure will just continue to build exponentially. And it's going to take a lot of those intangibles we're talking about to really set the tone you want from week to week and kind of try to keep those things even killed, because there's going to be a lot of press in all directions probably if you continue to do these kinds of things. So that'll be a part of the challenge as well. But I'm glad to have some of those gray-haired, sort of, among college athletes at least, guys there at the front of that list who have been around the block a time or two. As for the accommodations, did you notice anything about what Coach Maguire had to say? If you did not, he emphasized further something that I think should be blasted from a speaker all around the world.